Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I just wanted to welcome everyone to another episode of Speaking Plain English. I am your host, Roberta, and today we are live. Thank you all, first of all, for those who have been watching the replays and things like that. So, in case you are were not aware, we're doing things a little differently. Just a little bit differently. And I just want to once again welcome our Praise FM audience. I just wanted to make a couple of different announcements before we get into today's topic and today's guest. One, I want to let everybody know that, first of all, do the liking and the subscribing and the sharing and all of that wonderful stuff, because what we're going to talk about, I'm sure that somebody is going to get some benefit from. So I want you to do that so that everybody can get the bulk of what it is that we're going to discuss today. So I want to just make this quick announcement that first, Speaking Plain English is now a part of a new audience, a new radio station called Praise FM. Praise FM radio. And just so you guys know, we are now candidates for 2023 for Stellar Award nomination. And if you would like to vote, I'm going to ask you to vote. I'm going to ask you to take a look over on the stellarawards.com. It's scrolling across the screen, the bottom of your screen. Go to stellarawards.com so that you're going to look for Praise FM radio. You're going to go, first of all, you're going to click the second box, which is the internet radio ballot. And then you're going to go to category number five. And then you're going to look for Praise FM radio by Dr. Lady Rain. Okay, so you're going to look for that, and then you're going to vote your one good time, and that's all you're going to need to do. Voting actually ends on May 1st, so if you guys can do that as soon as possible, that would be great. That would be great. So also you can go ahead and send your stars, and you can support the page. That actually helps us when, with all of the stuff that we need to do. Thank you so much, Mom. See, my mom is always a supporter. I voted too, first and second round. So we are here for the second round now to, and after this round, if we make it through, then we're nominated. We're officially nominated. So those are our announcements. Now we are going to get into our topic for today. We are going to do an author highlight. I have the author of a trilogy, actually, not just one book, but it's a trilogy. She wrote 3, and it is I call it the Unnamed and Unwanted series. And I'm going to just bring her in, the author, and her name is Cherie Stevenson, and I'm going to bring her into the front.
Hi,
everybody. Welcome, first of all, welcome to Speaking Plain English once again, because she actually has been a guest on another topic before when we were discussing child loss, which is an episode that I'm going to replay at some point. So yes, I want you to come here and I want you to just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Kingdom blessings, everyone. Happy Saturday. My name is Cherie Stevenson. I like to tell people that I'm an authorpreneur, not just an entrepreneur. Everything that has been said and done thus far has been birthed from my books. I'm an author. I'm an author, business owner, evangelist, soon to be ordained to an elder. And I'm saying it on your platform. Didn't even say it on mine yet. So, I'm in school. I'm a student. Getting my bachelor's degree in psychology under mental health, so I can establish my own wellness facility. I'm an auntie mommy. I have no children of my own, so I'm an auntie mommy and god mommy. And if I do have babies, they're my books. So that's it. Good morning. Good morning. Good
So,
afternoon.
well, it's afternoon here, but Lady Rain is in Arizona, so it's 9 a.m. over there.
Well, thank you, Lady Rain. Good morning.
So let's just jump into it. So for just a brief synopsis of like she said, like, everything started with just the first book, and the next thing we know, we have three. So I want you to give us a brief synopsis of pretty much what it was as far as like what your books are about without giving away too much, because we want the people to go and purchase the books.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
what we want. But just give just a little bit of a taste of the first one.
Okay. So here's the first one. My firstborn, Unnamed and Unwanted. What am I here for? And this book introduces you to the dysfunctional relationship I had with my mom. And it brings awareness to verbal and emotional abuse.
Mm-hmm.
The middle child is Unnamed and Unwanted, The Possibilities of Me, right? That's my middle child. And in this book, I take you through what happens to an individual who has been broken due to verbal and emotional abuse. There's just, you're not thinking clearly, you're making bad choices, you're making, bad decisions. And there's some people in the Bible who demonstrate this as well. So it's not just something that just happened in 2023 or 2022. It's an ongoing thing. And I feel safe to say that it's generational. It goes. So that's book two. That's a really good read. I was reading it the other day and was like, whoa. So, like, you really put that in the book, sis. Like,
you did. You did.
And then here's my baby.
Oh, yes.
And this is Unnamed and Unwanted. I Know Who I Am, the process to positivity, right? Because I received excellent advice from my bishop, James A. Jones Sr., and co-pastor Yvonne Jones. Hey, Divine Destiny Cathedral. They told me while I was writing to don't end your story as a victim. End it as a victor.
Come on.
So that's how we got 3 books. So I had to end on a positive note. And this book is positivity. We're combating negativity through the process of positivity. It's not the only process, but it is a process. And that book was written on the concept of if you do something for 21 days, it should begin to become a part of your lifestyle. It should become a part of your habit. It should become a part of your daily routine. And not that you just do it for 21 days, but when those 21 days are ended, start over. Keep going. And it's composed of 3 categories. You have aspirations, which are positive quotes. You have inspiration, which are positive scriptures. And you have affirmations, which are positivity that you speak over yourself to help you on your journey towards bigger, better, greater. Never a shameless plug. Okay, great.
So the reason why she said that is because that's actually one of her mottos, or her motto actually, bigger, better, greater. And that's actually, I kind of want you to go into that, but if you are, I'm going to plug in this as well. So in addition to the books that she had, not even just in addition to, but as I guess a segue from the books, she has now a platform of her own that is called Solid Saturdays, which is live every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. bright and early Eastern Standard Time. And what she does is that she goes through the affirmation. Well, no, not just the affirmation, but she looks at the baby, as she calls it, the baby child.
My
The I
babies.
Know Who I Am book, and then we pretty much, she pulls a principle out of there, and that's the discussion for for the session, or for, I call it a session, for the for the episode per se. And that is where, she started to bring forth a mantra per se of bigger, better, greater. I want you to go into that and tap into that and tell us what that means to you.
I God is amazing. This whole walk, this whole journey of creation and becoming is
Mm.
all God given. So to ask where that came from, God. Um God, it wasn't like, ooh, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna wow the people. It just happened. And it became a part of my dialogue, and it became a part of my strategy, if I can say it that way. It became a part of my push to the
Mm.
people. Like, don't you want something better? Don't you? This can't be it.
Right.
God wakes us up with grace and mercy every day. This is it. This cannot be it. You know.
Absolutely.
So there's got to be something bigger, better, than greater. The Bible speaks of abundance.
That's it.
I
That's
want
it.
the abundance.
Absolutely.
I We're going to be blessed because we're His kids. He's the greatest dad, mom, parent,
Okay.
guardian we'll ever have. No disrespect to nobody in human form, but we're going to be blessed. We're going to be forgiven. We're going to be covered. We're going to be taken care of. But the abundance,
Mm-hmm.
I want that here. The Bible says on earth as it is
As
in
it is.
heaven. So that ain't mean I got to lay to rest to get to heaven to get what I can have it here and now.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So sounds good to me. So I want I'm living to live again, right? I'm bigger, better, greater. I'm doing away with the negativity. I'm doing away with, self-doubt, self-sabotage, low self-esteem. Because now I realize that I do have purpose. I do
Mm.
have something to live for. I do have something to offer. I do have something to give. And I want to give it to y'all because it ain't just for me.
Right.
It's for us.
That's it.
So if I'm getting bigger, better, greater, then I want you to have bigger, better, greater too. So I hope that answered the question because that's where it came from. And I'm going after everything God said I can have. And if you don't want yours, I'm coming for yours too.
I love that, because I'm gonna tell you something that I've that has come to mind within some years. Um I know a lot of people say a lot of Christian things that said, heaven is my goal. That's the aim. That's what I'm trying to reach. Yes, we're trying to reach heaven, but at the end of the day, I see heaven as a bonus. To be perfectly honest, I don't see that as the main focus. I see heaven as a bonus of righteous living and of the bonus of being a child of God, because we have so much that He has, like you was mentioning. There's so much that He has for us here. There's that we don't have to wait. And that's why God says that He's able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all we can even ask or even imagine that. Like,
Imagine.
imagine, well, that's the problem. We can't. We can't. It's over what we're able, He's able to do and give us and wants for us to have so much more than what we can even conceive in thought. I want that. Because I have my own ideas, but you have better for me than my own ideas. I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. And it's not that, and it's all for, at the end of the day, it's all for His glory and building His
Yes.
kingdom. And it's not because, and I want to kind of get this out of some people's heads. It's not just because God is not self-centered. It's not that He wants the glory and He wants the praise because He just likes to, that He'll feel he has issues mentally where it's like, oh, I have to have, you know what I'm saying? It's not that. That's not what it is. What that does is it teaches us to be grateful. I'm just saying.
I don't need to be a guest right now because the thought of God having mental issues is cracking me up right now.
But I'm saying, like, I thought, like, listen, I grew up in church. And I grew up in church, and there were a lot of things growing up that I questioned. And I'm like, well, why is it that the people say something like, how something, I kind of forgot what it was, but saying something pretty much like that God loves His praise and things like that. and which he does. However, it's not because he has any identity issues. It's not because he's, has low self-esteem. It's not because, you know what I'm saying? One, because it teaches us to be grateful. Because at the end of the day, and I don't know how we got here, at the end of the day, if God does not get his glory, if we don't give it to him, it's not like he ceases to be God. He's still going to be who he is, and he's very secure in his godship.
So
So
would you like for me to interview you, or
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. This is something that we really don't talk about a lot. And for
yeah?
those of you who are, tuning in and speaking plain English, you're gonna get a lot of that. You're gonna get a lot of, things and conversation and thought processes that not a lot of people really want to take, have thought about. Because I'm full of that. I think a lot. I'm an overthinker. So with that being said, Sharice, I want you to tell me, like, what is it? I know that you said that this was a God project, and pretty much, like, I want you to give us the process. I'll put it like that too, where you actually started to write the books.
Okay. I'm just okay. All right. Okay. All right. I sound like Kevin Hart, right? Like, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I didn't want to be an author. That wasn't on the bucket list. It wasn't something to do. It wasn't, I want to do this before I turn 30. It was nothing. Nowhere in my psyche, nowhere in me did I want to do this. Um 2009, I was in my previous church in Bible study, and over the music, over the bishop teaching, I heard clear as day, you have to write a book. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm back into the word. Like, preach, bishop. He was like, you have to write a book. I ain't doing that. Preach, bishop. You know what I'm saying? And the more I'm saying preach, bishop, this is what you're going to write. This is how you're going to write it. So now I'm weeping because I was like, okay, all right. Since you want to have this conversation, let's have this conversation. Okay, great. So, because well, you know me. The audience don't know me, but I'm Sharice all day. Look, you want to? Okay, fine. Let's have the conversation.
What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. Amen. Which is why God is so tickled. But so he told me what, and he told me how in 2009. Thinking about this question, I just feel like he didn't tell me why though. So and I have to give you the time frame so you can understand where I'm going with this, right? So 2009, I get these instructions from God, in case you was wondering. And I was like, all right, cool. Not a problem. This is what you want me to do. This is what I want to do. Because at this particular time in my life, the backdrop of it all was I wasn't liking myself. I wasn't liking myself. I was having periods of contemplating suicide, tried suicide, didn't work. How you feel at suicide? But anyway, something had to give. I started feeling like a hypocrite because I'm in church, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy with myself. I couldn't understand why I'm a Christian. I love God, but I had so much anger in me and so much hatred in me for my mom. Both of them. The one who birthed me and the one who raised me. Read the book. Right? So here comes this assignment. You have to write a book. Right? So still not doing that. So I give in. Oh, all right, since you say I have to write a book, let's write the book. Right? Started writing 2009. And my whole intro pissed me off. The introduction pissed me off. And I was like, I'm not doing this. Because in order for it to be effective, I would have to relive all that happened. And
Ah.
I didn't want to do that. So I called myself hiding the book from me because out of sight, out of mind. So you say, right? Out of sight, out of mind, do away with it. I ain't doing it because I don't want to relive that disappointment, that hurt, that conversation when I found out who was who and who was not at the age of
Okay.
14.
Wow.
Right?
Hold on.
So,
Well, I need you to hold on 1 second because we have to go to commercial. I need you to hold that thought, please. Y'all stay tuned. We're gonna just take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
Have you ever wanted to host your own inspirational radio show? Have you been called to inspire and spread God's word? Please contact Alicia Rain for more info.
Are you interested in continuing your education, certificate, or degree that will prepare you in the ministry and equip you in the marketplace? Come make Christ Central University your home. Visit us at www.myccu.online.
Your voice is heard. Oh, oh, oh. Let's get crazy. You say. Oh, oh, oh. Let's get crazy. You say. Oh, oh, oh. Let's get crazy. You say. Oh, oh, oh. Let's get crazy. Lift your voice. Oh, oh, oh. Let's get crazy. You say.
You are now listening to Speaking Plain English with your host Roberta on Praise FM.
All right, we are back. Thank you guys so much for watching that little commercial. Listen, real quick, once again, there is one change in those announcements that we just made. As I mentioned earlier, that round one was before. Now we are in round two. So as you see, we need you guys to go to stellarawards.com so that we can go ahead and solidify that nomination. Appreciate y'all. And back to you, Sharice.
yeah,
So you
I
had
get so
just
blown away by the commercials. I just love that. Like, she got commercials.
commercials. We doing things.
Come on.
Come on. So we're getting back to where you were saying that you had just figured out who's who.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Because I didn't want to relive that. Who wants to, you've been raised as as a child with this person being this person, this one being that one. And then it's like the cliffhangers. Remember when you used to watch Dynasty and Dallas, and then you have a cliffhanger at the end, and what just happened? Did it? No, that's real. That really do happen. So I didn't want to relive all of that. So I called myself hiding the book from myself, hiding from God. Can you imagine? Did we learn anything from Adam? But anyway, did we learn?
Did we learn anything?
So, but I'm still going through this season of disgust with myself. Like, I'm just angry and snappy and nasty, and I'm like, I didn't like it. So fast forward, it came to me again. Write the book. If you write the, I'm telling you, write the book. I'm gonna tell you why as soon as you do it. 2014, 2009, 2014. I go back to writing this book. Oh yeah, because I'm a fighter. I'm from the projects. I'm gonna fight you.
Oh my Lord.
I fought against writing this book all that time. I ain't want to do it. I didn't want to relive my childhood again.
And that's
so I
understandable.
write the book. I wrote it. As you can see,
There.
it was painful. It was vivid. I felt everything. And I had to, because the writing had to be effective. So when you read it, you would feel it.
Right.
And that's what I was afraid of. But I wrote it. It got published in 2017 because I was still kind of fighting against it. And then stuff wasn't right. And then I had somebody working with me, and they wanted my firstborn kid to publish it. And I was like, that don't feel right. So I waited, finally connected with somebody who helped me finish it. I did everything. I just didn't know how to do the conclusion of the matter, like get the cover made and blah, 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 blah. So it was published 2017. So that's that process
Okay.
of the first book. It was hard. It was very hard. If you're writing something from a personal perspective, it's hard. Fictional is easy because it's fairy tale. You're making it up.
Right. You making it
Like
up.
Harry Potter and the wizards and the sorceries and the stuff and things. You can just make that up and do that. But when you come in, when you're putting what's internal, external, it was hard. It was very hard.
This is my mom.
it was very, very hard. Yeah. So it wasn't until after I published the book that God told me why. Because God is strategic like that.
Absolutely.
He's very strategic like that. So like I told you, 2009, he told me what, and he told me how. Once it was published in 2017, he told me why. So, and the why was, it was the beginning of my healing. He had me to write it for myself because I kept telling him, I'm tired of the way I am. I hate the way I feel. I don't like me. And sometimes you got to be careful what you ask for.
For sure.
You got to be careful what you ask for because you're not going to like the process that you have to go through to get what you want. But I promise you it's worth it in the end. It is so worth it. And this is why God don't tell us everything. He never tells us what's in the middle. He didn't tell me I was going to feel all of this again, or it was going to be very vivid, or I was going to cry, or I was going to, shut down, cry, or I was going to have a moment of depression because I couldn't understand why you didn't want me, why you didn't love me. What did I do? I could not understand that. I could not accept that. Tormented me most of my adulthood life. Wrote the book. Both mothers are dead, by the way.
And in order for you to understand what both mothers mean, you have to read the books.
Yes. They're both deceased. So this book, this book was me releasing, I guess, in a way, because I didn't get to have the conversations. I didn't get to ask them why. It was what it was.
So you never got the closure.
Right. So this book presented healing. This book presented closure. This book started my healing process. In this book, that was for me. Once the book was published, I didn't realize that I tapped into something. It's almost as if you're out in the desert somewhere and you digging, and then you hit that spot and you see spurts of oil, and you be like, I got it, I hit it, I found it.
Yep.
That's what happened. Spurts of, oh my God, me too. Excuse me? Not just from women, from men too.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, verbal abuse is real. Emotional abuse is real.
Absolutely.
And if this happens to you as a child and you don't know what it is, because I didn't know what it was. I just knew it was just a piece of me that was missing. I didn't like it. I didn't like me. I don't know what this is. So from 2009, God was trying to heal me since 2009. But I'm Sharice from the project. I'm going to do what Sharice want to do. So we go. But God never gave up on me. God never turned his back on me. God never took that desire away from me. Even though I was crying out for help. There's a meme that's really funny where it says, God, if he's not the one, show me a sign. And this whole sign falls on the person. Like, here's your sign. Like, this is, he's not it. And you be like, no, God, that's not what I want. You can't ask God for something and then tell him how to be God over the request, especially when it's something that he wants for you. He wanted this for me. And I feel like he wanted this healing for me more than I wanted it for myself because I kept giving up. You understand? I listen. But it wasn't until the feedback started. And I was like, well, maybe this is hitting on something. So I started talking about it, and people, my friends, supporters, you talking about verbal abuse and emotional abuse? Wow. Then, right about that same time, mental health started coming into the forefront. 2017, 2018, and I connected with it. And I was like, okay. I see where this is going. So this is what I want to do. God, is this what you was trying to get me to do? And he was like,
so now you get it. Like, ding, 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 ding.
He's like, ay, Dios mío, she got it. I could talk about me. I be taking God through it, y'all. I take him through it. That's why he's God. Because he'd be like,
like, finally, Eureka, we got it.
Right. He was like, hallelujah to myself. She got it. She got it. So
hallelujah to myself.
Hallelujah to myself. Oh,
Gabriel, look, she done finally got it.
Hey, disciples, you got it. Just a whole
time.
But this, so now I have this platform where I was like, oh, well, I want to talk about this. Now I got something to say. I want to talk about verbal abuse and emotional abuse because it's real. And not to take away from police brutality, domestic violence, animal cruelty, child abuse, not to take away, but to add to it. Absolutely. This is something that we need to talk about. We need to talk about verbal and emotional abuse. Because some of us is a little cuckoo and we don't know why. Because I know that's my story. And I can speak for me. I'm the guest, right? I was a little cuckoo and didn't know why. Like, girl, what is wrong with you? Get yourself together. Didn't realize I was verbally and emotionally abused. It's a real thing.
It carries, especially from childhood. And that's one thing, and that's something that we don't think about a lot. We don't think about how what is said to a child as, what is being said to us as children, how we speak to our children, and the things that were said to us, when we were kids. We don't understand. Sometimes we never really understand. Not that we don't understand, but it wasn't taken into consideration a lot of times what that can do. Like, we have this whole thing, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is a lie. Lies. They actually hurt more than if you want to be real and honest. Absolutely, Mom. If you honestly and truthfully speaking, words hurt more, especially if they're from somebody that you actually look up to, somebody you care about, somebody who you think is supposed to have your back, somebody who you're expecting to, look over you and watch over you. So in your case, your mother, plural. So get the books.
Get the book.
Get the book. So in order, big as liable, so sticks and stones, those heal faster. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, and I say this a lot, I use R. Kelly as a big example of his victims. The way that he was able to have such a hold on, because of what a lot of them have said, like some of his victims, a lot of people who are saying, well, they had the freedom to just leave. The thing is, when you got somebody's mind, when you condition their mind, when you've, were able to get close enough to them so that where they trust you to the point where it's like, okay, I got them, I can do and say whatever it is that I want to make them stay. That's detrimental. That is so detrimental because you're stuck without being stuck.
You don't even know it.
You don't even realize it.
And it's so pivotal what you said, because, and I'm going to use you as an example because I'm witnessing it, right? You're doing your show, and not for nothing, your mom don't miss nothing you do. You selling paparazzi, she there. You in church doing something, she there. Because I watch. I'm on with with you all the time. I don't say nothing, but I'm there. You're here speaking plain English. She's here.
Just about every episode.
My mother wasn't. How? There's this poor story in the book, an example in the book, where I talk about how my mother didn't believe I was graduating with honors because she said I wasn't smart enough to even do such a thing. Graduated with honors. Top 83 percentile of my high school graduating class.
Wow.
I sat on the stage. She came because she didn't believe it. I got to see this for myself. Who does that to a kid?
Wow.
There was no celebration. There was no gift. There was no party. There was no cake. There was no nothing. Can you imagine reliving that? Like, oh my gosh, she really didn't.
She didn't care. So let me ask you this. Thinking about that now, how did that affect you growing up before the healing process?
It made me feel like a failure. It made me not chase my dreams. It made me not want to do anything. Like, don't have any ambitions because you're going to fail. Don't even, if you can dream it, but don't go after it because it's not going to work. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. And that's still a stigma that I fight with daily. Unhealthy relationships, poor job choices.
Did you say poor job choices?
Poor job choices.
Go into that a little bit.
I had an opportunity to work for the city, ironically, at 18. I took a civil service test to work for, which one was it? To be a CO, a correctional officer at 18. Did not study for the test. I just took the test. I scored an 82 or 83, something like that. And then one of my cousins on my father's side was already in the system. So he was like, cuz, just take the test and da-da-da-da-da, and we'll do the paperwork and stuff, whatever. I got you. Did all of that, passed the test, and my mother talked me out of it. She told me not to do it.
Wow.
And because I wanted the validation and the support of my mom, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. All my life, I wanted to be loved by my mother, and it never happened. It never happened. Not even death. It didn't even happen. It didn't happen. So me pushing myself to want more and do better, this is all new. Because now I got it.
That was my next question.
Yeah. So now I got it. So now I understand why the 3 attempts of suicide didn't work. Because God knew what's in me and what he had planned for me. And he knew that I am connected to a people that needs to hear this story to understand that there's life after that.
So how did that begin? I want to know how the healing process, the reason why I asked you about how that affected you growing up before the healing process, because I want people to hear the transition, because some people just stay stuck.
Yeah.
And thank God you are healed. You said you're still healing.
Yeah. I'm much better. And so I'm gonna answer this question on several levels. Proof of my healing, right, is now I can talk about this stuff and it doesn't affect me. I'm not bitter, I'm not angry, because I understand now. I understand that this whole walk is bigger than what happened to me. Because it didn't just happen to me, it's happening to us. We just don't know who the us is. But now, since I've been doing my platform, Solid Saturday, never a shameless plug, I'm learning that there's a whole audience that needs to hear this voice and hear this story and hear this testimony. Healing. Say your question again, because I want to make sure I get it right.
So I'm glad that you forgot because we got to go to another break. But the question is, once we come back, Sharice is going to explain how it is that she
The transition.
transition from what she went through to start the healing process, and we will be right back.
Are you the next great independent artist? But you're looking for a distribution opportunity? Well, sign with us at Praise.fm Music Distribution. Yes, the 2021 Stellar Award nominated Praise.fm can handle it all. We understand the narrow road leading to getting your music heard at the right time at the right place can be tough. So send your music and video files to fmpraise@gmail.com. That's fmprayz@gmail.com. Praise.fm Music Distribution, affiliated with Sony Music and the Orchard Distributors.
My God, you ought to praise him right there.
I threw it, my God, he threw it back at me. He threw it right back at me, yes he did. I threw in the towel. I wanted to give up. Ain't no way I'm gonna leave you now. Ain't no way I'm gonna let you down. I'm this far, I'm gonna get my crown. You're the reason why my mind is sound. The hit pain has come around and it's pounding at my door. Your voice is sad. Oh, let's get crazy. You say.
You are now listening to Speaking Plain English with your host Roberta on Praise FM.
And we are back. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to Speaking Plain English. We are here with author Sharice Stevenson. And once you're done with your with answering the question, we actually have a question for you, which I will post once you're done. So the question that we asked before the break was, how is it that you transitioned from going through everything that you went through growing up into the actual healing process? How did that begin for you?
Okay, well, remember, I wasn't liking myself.
Right.
Very unhappy, very disappointed with myself. Because I was like, ain't no way in the world I'm going to be in church all this time and ain't nothing happening for me. And it wasn't that it wasn't happening for me. I wasn't allowing it to happen in me. Right? So, published a book. And people that I didn't expect, like just people were just very happy and celebrating me. And I'm going to be honest with you. I had a hard time accepting the accolades because I didn't know what that was. Your parents are your first teachers, you know? And I didn't get it. I got it from my dad, but I didn't get it from my mom. You know, it just, so I didn't know how to appreciate it. I didn't know how to accept it. I didn't trust what people were saying to me.
Wow.
I felt like they wanted something from me. Like, what do you want? You know, like, you know, that it's real. This is real. This is what people are afraid to talk about, you know, because you're in church and you're a preacher and you're a pastor. No, this is real.
Absolutely.
You have walls. Forget a wall. I had a whole building. I had the projects. What do you mean? You're not getting to me. You're not. Right? But then there was just certain people that really pierced my heart. You really have to be under the right covering. People got this thing that they're against church and everything is virtual and blah, 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 blah. It's not hands-on. You need hands-on. You need consistency. You need, can I come talk to you? I can't talk to Bishop Jason after he goes off on YouTube. If I call that 800 number, I'm going to get one of his assistants. No, I want to talk to Thomas Dexter Jakes. That's who I want to talk to. Because he was the one that was preaching. He's the one that pricked my heart. He got me thinking about some things. I need him to answer. It's not going to happen. You got to be in church. You got to be under good covering. And you got to be under, you got to take a chance. I'm going to put it that way. Because for me, it was a chance for me. Mm-hmm. There were things that my leaders were saying that they had no clue of. And I was just like, there's something to these people. Like, they don't know me. They know me on Sunday. They know me on Wednesday, Tuesday for Bible study. They know Church Reese. They don't know Project Reese. You know what I'm saying? They don't know, that girl. But they did. Mm-hmm. Because God showed them the inner me. So through conversation, through questions, I plug therapy. Get it. From your leaders, your pastors, your friends. But this is why I'm opening up a wellness facility, because you need a safe place.
Absolutely.
I began to talk. This book helped me to open up and talk. That's how the healing began. There's a meme that says, if you don't think God is not there, you got to remember that the teacher is always quiet during the test.
During the test.
Right? God never left me. God never left. From 2009, first of all, he kept me through all of the trauma from a child. But I feel like he drew closer to me when I was kicking against the bricks, because I didn't want to write this book, not knowing the why of the book, which is my healing. And so I had to, now that this book was my release, it was my portal. It was just let it out. Right? Because I couldn't get answers. One parent, one who died, the one who birthed me died in 1995. The one who raised me died in 1998. So we're not getting no answers. We're not getting no answers. So the transition was for me to become vulnerable enough to trust a little bit. Because maybe there's something to what these people are saying. That's how it started. And then it started with the book. And then I had something else to say. Which came book number 2. Because I realized, oh my God, people need to understand. So now you hear my story, you have my introduction. So now what happens? How do people who are verbally and emotionally abused, how do they act? How do they react? So I had to write a book about what happens to you. And that's, and it's about manipulation and making bad choices. And then you going through the process of, well, what did I do wrong? It wasn't that you did something wrong, just that you didn't know. The enemy is very skillful, and he knows. He knows you're broken. He knows your weaknesses. He knows what you like. He knows that. And he uses those things to keep you in his grip. But woe unto you. You come to yourself. And you realize I'm bigger and better and greater than this. Never a shameless plug. That you're bigger, better, and greater than this. And you deserve better than this. Oh. So, like I said, there was 3 attempts of suicide. Right? And God let me live. I'm like, why? Why? Like,
you remind me of this movie, Jerry, from Jerry Lewis. I don't know if you ever seen it. Was it Cracking Up? Was that the one? Yes, it's called Cracking Up. And he was pretty much the entire episode, or the entire movie was about him trying to talk about everything, everything that he did was wrong. He could not do anything right. He even tried to commit suicide. Like you said, he tried to commit suicide several times.
I saw that episode. I've seen that show. I was a big Jerry Lewis fan. Yeah. Yeah.
But that just brought that to mind.
Yeah. Wow. So the conclusion of that is I became vulnerable enough to let God be God. Because since suicide didn't work, all right, so let's do it your way. Let's try. Let's see what happens if I do it your way. So very sarcastically, I should say, I did it God's way.
Wow.
And it's working. Cause now it is, okay, but you won't let me kill myself. I couldn't get hit by a car. I couldn't get hit by a bus. I couldn't. I took pills and chased it with some alcohol and woke up. I was angry about that good thing. I'm like, it works on TV. Why it don't work for me? So
Like, what do you want?
like I'm like, all right. For some reason, you keep waking me. Like I literally was waking up with attitudes about it. Like I was pissed off because I didn't want to be here. I did.
Still here?
I'm telling you, I did not want to be here. But now I get it, and I'm grateful and I'm happy. Thank you, Lord, because I get it now. I get it now. So the question that was you wanted.
Yes. So my mom has a question. It says, did the Lord show you what made them become the person that they were? And I'm assuming you're meaning her mom's. Like, did God show you why they I think I understand. So because you're now understanding what made you you, what made you feel the way that you felt, and what made you because of your past, because of things that they put you through. Did
Yeah,
God show you?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the woman who birthed me, she was a crackhead and she was a junkie. So that was it. Um, she had my oldest brother, and that was probably by accident. And I say that was probably by accident, or either his father had something to do with him being here. Um, because between me and him, we're 5 years apart.
Wow.
But there was 3 abortions between me and him. I was supposed to have been abortion number 4. But the doctor didn't do it and told her that she had to carry me because she was tearing up her body. So that's her. So she was what they say, what, you for the streets? She was for the streets. She was for the streets. So that was her. That was the biological. The woman who raised me, that I got that answer after I published the book. I'll never forget. I was coming home from work because that question was lingering because I was like, I would never have an answer to the why. Why she treated me the way that she did. Why she abused me. I was coming home from work and I wanted Popeye's chicken. I promise you. So instead of me walking to the left to my building from the train station, I was walking towards the right. Here come God. Do you want to know why? Yeah, I want to know why. And it was so strange because I knew exactly what he was talking about. Because there was only one real question that required an answer from why. Are you ready for this, Mama Jean? The abuse took place because I looked like my dad's first wife. So so the woman who raised me is wife number 2. I look like wife number 1. So you take out your hatred and your bitterness of that woman out on me because I look like her.
So it ain't even got nothing to do with you.
Had nothing to do with me at all. At all. I was like, wow, that's nuts.
So let's think about that. And I want us to really take a hold of that. Our own anger and our own bitterness and our own dislike, I guess, towards one person or something completely different. If it festers, if it stays, and you're teaching me something. If it stays there for too long, you'll end up creating first of all, a hard heart, a bitter heart, an angry heart, to the point where you start taking things out and being somebody evil and being so nasty to somebody who has absolutely nothing to do with the problem.
Yeah.
And it's not even necessarily a problem. It's something that you're not okay with.
This is why forgiveness is key. Forgiveness is key. It's so crucial because, so yes, did I forgive them? Because I know somebody going to watch this video, but did she ever forgive them even though they're deceased? Yes, I have. This is why I'm so able to do my platform so freely. I can do it freely with no anger, no bitterness, no animosity. But the process is me forgiving myself. Not so much for what they did, but for staying in something for way too long, for allowing myself to tolerate certain people and certain things that I knew wasn't for me and knew was wrong. Because now mentally is a tug of war, because now I'm fighting against what my mother said or the negativity, but now I'm holding on to the things of God, what God says, and the positivity, right? So my mother calls me ugly and she calls me stupid, but God says I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. God says I'm the apple of his eye. God, you know what I'm saying? So my mother said I wasn't going to be nothing, right? God said, I know your expected end. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's a tug of war, and I'm doing better. I'm in such a better place now. And I thank you for this platform because I see it. I see me living in my healing. I see me living in my bigger, better, greater. I see the strongholds disappearing. I feel it. You know,
awesome.
so, and I appreciate this platform because every time I say it, I get a little bit more free. I get a little bit more loose. I get a little bit more confident. I get a little bit more bigger, better, greater. You understand what I'm saying? So we can do this again tomorrow because then again, I'll be a little bit bigger. I'll be a little bit better. You understand what I'm saying? This is why testimonies are needed. This is why my wellness facility is needed. Because if you don't release it some kind of way, either if you don't release it verbally, you're going to release it physically. I'm telling you, because you got to have a release. I used to fight all the time. Because I didn't know how to release it. And I'm not talking just as a kid. I'm talking as an adult. I will wait for you. I don't have that energy anymore because it's been released in the book. And I'm in my process. Now, there's triggers. There's residue. But once I realize, oh, that's what that is, we ain't dealing with that. I'm okay. I'm good. You just, what they say, you brush your shoulders off.
Just shoulders off.
Yeah. So that's where we at now. I'm good.
That's awesome.
So when I speak about this stuff now, it's the audacity. I'm like, how could you not love me? How could you? The audacity of you not loving me. But yeah, I'm good.
I love it.
Who can't love this face?
Oh, wow. I love it. So we have come to the end of our episode for today. Sharice, thank you again so much for taking the time to actually be so transparent. Now, number one, for being transparent enough to write the books. And we understand now, that how it was a healing process for you. And I celebrate you in your healing, and I celebrate you in your accomplishments and everything that God has placed in you, because this girl is doing so much. Matter of fact, I need y'all to go to her shop, to her website. And matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her information here. Her website is ShariceStevenson.me. You've got so much on there. You have her where you can purchase your books there. Or you can just go to Amazon and look for Unnamed Unwanted Trilogy. You see on her website, you have her Facebook her social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram. And you also have on there where she has her own shop called it's Shop with Sharice, and you can get coffee mugs. You can get, actually, I'm going to get some pillows for my place. So I'm going to get some pillows. We got coffee mugs. You got t-shirts. You got all these different things that you can, a whole
and I'm sorry, and Solid Saturday is also on YouTube.
Yes. And so that you can catch some of the previous episodes, go to, matter of fact, for those of who you are on Facebook, I need you guys to go to her Solid Saturdays page and starting to like that page. Check her on every Saturday morning Eastern Standard Time at 8:00 a.m. She's there, and there's all you. I mean, every time I watch the episode, I try to get on, and to catch it live. But there's always something that you will leave with that'll help you. Like, honestly, I know I interviewed you today, but you helped me today. I'm not even gonna lie. You have absolutely helped me with
To God be the glory. That's a good thing.
today.
I feel like I am somebody's testimony.
Oh, for real.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah,
real.
and that's what all of this is about. The books, the platforms, the wellness facility. Because even if you don't have a relationship with God, you're going to be like, well, something is happening, because you hear what if it's working, whatever she's doing, I'm going to do it. And we'll figure
Let
out
me get
God
to what
later.
I'll have what she's having.
Right. Make mine a double, as a matter of fact, because I ain't got much. Let's speed this up. You know.
So before we close, and also her Cash App is there. So as you guys heard that she's got stuff that's going on, she's ready to put together a wellness facility. You go ahead, and her Cash App is $Sharice Stevenson 616. For those who may be listening audibly, that is $CHERISTEVENSON 616. That's her Cash App. And you can just drop a little something, drop a little bit of change, not change. We want bills, of course, obviously, but I want you to drop something in her Cash App so that she can get her wellness facility going and everything else that needs to happen, because this is good ground, honestly and truly. So before we go, Sharice, I want you to give us just some closing remarks, per se, something that you would like to say to encourage our audience.
Besides bigger, better, greater? No. What can I say to you guys? I want you to know that it's not too late. The dream, the purpose, the passion, it's there for a reason. Go for it. Go, even if it's to change your diet, get healthy, grow your hair, stop wearing dark colors. Dude, listen, I stayed in black. Besides the fact that it's my favorite color, I have a closet full of color in my closet, wouldn't wear it. You'd be surprised. Do it. Do it. Do it for self-gratification. And if it's God-given, God gets the glory in the end, regardless. I didn't know all that was entailed with writing the first book. Now it's like, I got this. You know what I'm saying? I encourage you to forgive yourself. I definitely encourage you to forgive yourself. Start the process of forgiving yourself for lying to yourself, for staying in something way too long when you knew. God, there's some things that is common sense. Forgive yourself for not trying. Forgive yourself if you felt like you was a bad parent or you could have did more. You did the best that you could at the time in the moment that you were in. But now that you've realized that, let's do better. Again, bigger, better, greater. Every day that God wake you up, be productive. Do something. I don't care if you buy a new toothbrush. Do something. Don't let the day go without being productive. Don't let the day go without loving yourself. Those are my words.
Wow. Well, okay. So with that being said, thank you guys so much once again for tuning into Speaking Plain English. Until next time.
Bye, everybody.